Hey, everybody, you have just clicked on Resistance to Leadership Change, your leadership dialogue with Fitz. I'm Fitz, in case you guys don't know me, and I'm so glad to take you as a leader through this very quick lesson because we're going through a ton of change in these times, and it's going to continue on for at least 10 years. So buckle in your seatbelts and let's figure out what happens when you find the resistance within your team or your direct reports or your company or department and people that want to change. Here we go. I want you also, before we begin, I want you to go over to YouTube, look up Leadership Wisdom with Fitz, click that subscribe button, and then you'll get notified when I send out another one of these leadership wisdom nuggets. For sure, I'm always looking to keep you guys abreast of what's going on. And the next thing is if you want to get a copy of my sixth book in the Heartbeat series, it is going to be called Leadership Wisdom, Designing Intuitive Leadership, which is a really great topic that I'm going to be covering as well in my leadership with Fitz, or with my leadership wisdom with Fitz. Okay, so let's begin. Let's talk the silent resistance to change. Yep, lots of change. And you can use this lesson whether it's at work, in your family, maybe it is within your school system, within your neighborhood, whatever it is that you've got a group of people that are dealing with change, these things are going to come up. So take note, even if you've got a 16-year at home and you're trying to get them to change things, or you've moved into a new community or whatever, there's always a resistance to change. It's just part of human behavior. So let's figure out what are the top 7 things that people do kind of subconsciously when they begin to resist change. Because you, as a leader, it's your responsibility to break down the resistance for them. All right, let's go to the next one. I get over there. There we go. All right, why resistance? Let's talk about this. It's a human behavior, it's subconscious. It's something that, some people will consciously know I don't like change because they might have grown up in that type of a culture within their family, and their caregiver maybe was very consistent with things, didn't do a lot of change. Others of us, we grew up in families or situations where we had changed constantly, right? So, but let's break it down. What are the 7 reasons? So, number one, well, subconsciously, we say to ourselves, it's a lot safer to protect the status quo, what it is that we were doing all along. You're changing it on me. We've always done it this way. Can you please keep it the same? I know what I'm doing. It's kind of like having to change that computer system and then everything on the computer is changing. You're going, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not how I always did it. Or you go to a grocery store and you start shopping and they've changed all of the places where the food is. You go, whoa, 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 whoa. That's the status quo. We've always done it this way. So when you start to hear people say, well, we always did it this way, why are we changing? I don't get why we're changing it. Keep in mind that they start to say, what the heck? Why are we doing this? And guess what? You, leader, you need to tell them why you're doing it. All right, let's see if we can get to the next one. Fear of no progress. Oh my gosh, this is so key. This is if we do this, are we going to be successful? If we do this, will we actually start moving forward with this? What if we do this and we take 3 steps forward and we go back 2 steps? People like to have progress. They like to feel like they're going somewhere, they're getting things accomplished. And when they don't, they resist. And so we all have this fear, and fear is false evidence appearing real, but it's very real to us because with fear comes that feeling that we get. And so you, as a leader, I have to challenge you and I go, what are you doing about it? Because if they are feeling number 2, fear of no progress, that's up to you to figure out how to get them so they're not fearful. All right, number 3, fear of the unknown. Well, we all know what this means, and I don't care. I think we learned this probably when we were about 2, 3 years old. 3, when we started to ask some questions because we felt the fear. By the time we had our, the cognitive part of our brain working around the age 5 or 6, we started to say, who, what, where, why, when, how, mommy, what? And that just keeps going on. It is, again, another fear. We want to know that we're safe. And when we don't know what's going on or where we're going or why we're going or how we're going or what are we going in, we have fear, and that creates resistance. All of you are guilty of it. Every single one of us can raise our hand to these seven things of resistant change. Just because you're a leader doesn't mean that you don't do it too. However, as a leader, it's your responsibility to break through their resistance. So again, I go back to leaders. What the heck are you doing about this? Number four, not wanting to learn something to do. Yep. I don't want to learn anything new. Nope. I always have the situation where I have to get a new phone. My laptop after 3 years is on the outs because they changed it so much with the software. And then I have a lease car that's up every 3 years. And they're all coming due all at the same time, first quarter. And it drives me nuts because I don't want to learn something new. My phone's going to be completely different. My car again is going to be completely different. My computer is going to be completely different. It's painful. I don't want to learn something new, so I resist it. And I resist it because I go, what if I can't learn it? What if I get so stumped on the computer and then my production falls behind? What if I can't figure out my telephone? What if I can't figure out how to even flip it on, turn it off, whatever it is, use the apps? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if? When I can learn something new, we do the what if. So, what are you as a leader going to do to help your people get past the what if I can't learn it? That's just self-doubt. You've got to figure out how to assure them and deal with their emotion. Number five, man, I just got into the habit of this. You said that before? I do. You're making me get out of my mojo, my zone, my rhythm. It's like me doing my laps at the pool at the YMCA. I love my laps, but if it's full, then I got to go in the deep end and go in a square. And that gets me out of my mojo. It gets me out of my rhythm. I got into a habit of swimming these laps or riding a bike, right? And you ride your bike and you love your bike. And then all of a sudden you get a new bike and you can't figure out the gears. You can't figure out the seat. Whatever it is, the exercise routine, the way you study, the way you learn, I get into the habit. You get me out of my habit? You're changing things on me? Wait a minute. You're changing my mojo, my zone, my rhythm. That makes me resist. I don't like that. I like to always take lunch at 11 o'clock. And now you want me to take lunch at 1 o'clock? I don't think so. So, leaders, what are you going to do about it? It's your responsibility to lead. Leadership is fellowship. They follow you when you're a good leader. Number six. I don't really view you as my leader. Besides, who the heck are you? You weren't here in this department yesterday. Well, we're now a team and you're the leader of the team. Who made that decision? Who are you? Why should I trust you? Are you my boss? Who made you my boss? We kind of, psychologically in the back of our minds and in our subconscious do this little pecking order thing. And you as a leader, that's your responsibility. What are you doing about it? All right, number seven, last one. Nope, nope. I'm not interested in change. And I'm never, ever going to be happy with change. So bug off. Do you ever feel that type of resistance? Well, the person who sometimes says that isn't a bad person. It's a person who's not wired for change. They may have grown up in a environment where everything was very consistent. They may have that type of personality, very consistent. They want things the same day in and day out. And so if they're in a company where they're asked to change continuously, it makes them feel uncomfortable. And yeah, they will never be happy. And they are going to say bug off and they're going to resist. So guess what, leader? It's up to you to make sure that you got the right people in the right seats on the bus. And maybe they don't even belong on your bus. Doesn't make them a bad person. It means that another bus would make them happy. And please put them in a position where they're happy or help them find a position. All right, so this again, it's all up to you, all seven of these. So what are you going to do about it, leaders of leaders, or leader of direct reports, or leaders of a team? Whatever it is you lead. So just know these are the seven: fear of unknown, fear of no progress. It's safer to protect the status quo, not wanting to learn something new. Oh, I just got in the habit of this. No, I don't view you as my leader. I'm not interested in change. Those are the 7 things. So my challenge for you today, leaders, is what are you going to do about this? Now, the only way that you can lead through these 7 resistors, these 7 situations when your people come at you, is you got to lead through it by being emotionally regulated. And that will be another video. So check in, subscribe, and make sure you watch this video with your team and have the discussion about what it is that they're experiencing it and get them as a peer group together to figure out what it is they want to do to support each other. You make it a great day. Thank you for listening to Leadership Wisdom with me, Fitz.
Hey, thank you for watching. I hope this video was really helpful for you, and I want you to consider liking it and sharing it with others who might benefit from its insights. If you're interested in more leadership content, please be sure to check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, which is called Leadership Wisdom with Fitz. Now, if you're ready to elevate your leadership within your organization, spark some meaningful conversations, perhaps with your team or emerging leaders, I've got a resource for you. Click the link below to access exclusive words to ponder. This is a discussion guide that I kind of put together with some carefully crafted questions to complement this video. It's going to, really help just bring your leaders together, align their thoughts, and begin to set some of this leadership concepts and wisdom that you want them to follow. I coach and mentor CEOs and leaders all over the country, and I know that they really appreciate these many wisdom lessons that can spark the leader within. So continually engage in leadership learning. Keep coming back for more wisdom. Simply subscribe and you can follow my footsteps. And also, please go over to my free online community at www.theleadingheart.com, where heart-based intuitive leaders come together to advance their awareness using their inner wisdom. Also, check out my Heartbeat series books, which are online anywhere that you can buy a book. I'm really excited for you to unlock your leadership wisdom. See you soon.